All the water was changed into blood. The book of Exodus, chapter 7, verse 20, the 10 plagues. In brief, passage, Exodus chapter 7 through 10. Theme, divine intervention. Setting, 14th to 13th century Egypt BC. Ancient Egypt, 14th to 13th centuries BC. Key figures, the Israelites, followers of the patriarch Jacob who are enslaved in Egypt. Moses, a future prophet chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of captivity into the Promised Land. Aaron, Moses' older brother, a Levite and a skilled orator. Pharaoh, Egyptian leader and enslaver of the Israelites. The 10 plagues of Egypt occur at a time when the Israelites have been enslaved in Egypt for around 400 years. With their trust in God wavering, the plagues act as a sign from God that reaffirms the Israelites as a chosen people and shows a superior power over the many gods worshipped by the Egyptians. On the instructions of God, Moses and Aaron confront Pharaoh and ask him to free the Israelites. Although Moses is respected by Pharaoh's advisors, God hardens Pharaoh's heart and refuses Moses' request. The identity of this Pharaoh is a matter of conjecture among scholars since Exodus does not name him and there is no firm agreement about the date of the Israelites' eventual escape from Egypt. No record exists of this in Egyptian sources. Some scholars date the Exodus to around 1446 BC, which would place it during the reign of Thutmose III, while others say it may have happened as late as 1275 BC during the reign of Ramses II. Several other pharaohs have also been proposed. Evidence for the plagues. Over the years, scientists have made many attempts to discover evidence for the 10 plagues and explain what caused them. Working in the 50s, Danish academic Greta Hort was the first to explain that the plagues were the result of a chain of natural catastrophes in Egypt. Later in the 90s, Hort's theory was given further credibility by American epidemiologists John S. Marr and Curtis Mallow, who suggested that the 10th plague could be attributed to poisonous mycotoxins, fungal toxins, infecting the grain supply in Egypt. In 2010, new theories of how the plagues could have resulted from natural causes emerged. These included ideas that a shift in the Egyptian climate from what to drive as the trigger for the first plague, and that the penultimate 3 plagues were the result of a volcanic eruption on the island of Santorini in Greece, causing a large ash cloud to spread across Egypt. Plague follows plague. God's response to Pharaoh's refusal to free the Israelites is to have Moses summon a series of plagues to afflict the Egyptian people, culminating in the 10th and most calamitous, the slaying in a single night of all the firstborn male children and animals of the Egyptians. Excluding this final plague, the plagues come in sets of 3, a number often associated with divinity and used by the writers of Exodus as a device to build narrative tension and expectation. The first 2 plagues in each set are preceded by a warning, the last does not. The gravity of the plagues increases with each set. The plagues not only convince Pharaoh to free the Israelites, but they also rekindle the Israelites' faith in the Lord. These powerful acts demonstrate that the God of their fathers is worthy of worship and superior to the host of the pagan gods in Egypt, the most powerful country in the region at that time. Plagues reappear as a symbol of God's wrath and judgment later in the Bible. They include the last 7 plagues that complete God's wrath at the final judgment described in Revelation by the Apostle John. God's purpose. There is little historical evidence for the plagues. The one surviving document that may provide evidence, the Upper Papyrus, describes scenes that could match the Exodus story, including a reference to a river of blood, the first plague, but scholars believe that it was written between 1850 and 1600 BC, preceding any of the proposed dates for the Exodus by several centuries.